We welcome you back to the WS Daily. Every Wednesday we hang out with our good friend Matt Lee. We talk about real estate information that is important to you. But today we're going to be talking about July 2016 numbers just released versus July 2015. So what's transpired in the past year?
So we actually look at a few different graphs, which we'll pull up because
in a bit, okay.
Yeah, and this year things have always seemed to have looked pretty good, and we're going to see that even though not to give it away, but I mean, even though you're going to see that sales might be down a bit, it's not something to be overly concerned about. I mean, last month we talked about it being 11% up. So I mean, what we're looking at is the overall is still looking really good, even though that maybe last month compared to last July in 2015 wasn't quite as good. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about. So
there's not a lot of movement in real estate generally in July anyway, I don't think.
Well, it's I think it's one of those things that we have. If you look at the actual trends year over year, you'll see that the numbers tend to stay relatively the same. You'll see a high peak from March into June into July, and then you'll see a bit of a peak in the fall, and you'll see these graphs. It's something that I'll bring in to show like year over year to see how the actual numbers work. Listings are kind of can be relatively the same. Sales are kind of going along the same thing. So I mean, if we want to take a look at the numbers, I can show you the year-to-date numbers is still up 9%. So that's 200 more sales this year, year-to-date, than there is last year. So we're still up a good amount.
For our region.
For our region.
For
Kingston Real Estate Board is where these numbers are coming from.
Okay.
So we stretch from GAN to Napanee. So the total sales for the month are down 1%.
Nothing to panic over.
That is 3 listings. That is 3 sales, is what that is. So we are down a couple. So
not a lot. Nothing to panic over.
No. So it is okay. The total active listings is down 27%, which is
that seems like a lofty number.
So that's 300 listings. So that's actually what listed this month compared to what listed July of 2015. So therefore, we're down 300 listings in comparison to new listings from last year. So, when you're looking at a supply and demand, average sale price year to date is 302,721. So we are up from last year, just a little bit, $1,000, $1,500, right in that area. So.
Which is on par with I think a market of this size, or this is a little bit more.
Kingston's one of these markets that we see, and I mean we've heard from people from Queens that looking at CMHC over time, you're looking at it that it gradually increases bit by bit. Whether it's 3%, in certain areas, downtown can be different than East End or West End can be different. So it depends on how far you want to narrow in. But overall, we do tend to gradually increase bit by bit, but we don't do these spikes and falls like other places.
Right.
So we are moving forward. We are increasing because we fell by 3 sales this month. It's nothing to be concerned about. We're up by 200 year to date, so things are looking really good.
So the healthy trend that we saw in January, February, March in the spring, that trend is continuing.
It is continuing, yeah. The heat the last couple of weeks is really, I found in my personal situation,
it was one of these things.
It was one of these things that slowed. So phone's ringing again. People are starting to get out and moving around, but
and the lawns are turning green slowly.
That's great. Yeah, exactly. Great for pictures. So
I ain't buying that house. It's a dead lawn. Well, everyone's grass is brown.
So, that's right. So no, things are looking good.
Matt, we will talk to you next week. Have a great rest of the week, and enjoy yourself this weekend.
Will do. Thanks.
Okay.